In this video, we're going to continue the process of publishing our module on Drupal.org. We're going to have a look at the SSH keys, and we're going to then follow the instructions for adding the code, and we're going to create our first commit. Until now, we already created this page on Drupal.org, and it's essentially the page that we're going to host our module on, but for now we didn't update any code, so it's just an empty shell. So the next thing we want to do is we want to upload our code base. And first, if we click on version control, essentially when we're logged in as the owner of this module, when we click on version control, we see that here there are some instructions on how to create the modules folder, and also there are some simple instructions on how to set up our SSH keys. So essentially I've already set up my SSH keys, but it's quite simple. So you have them here under your account and then SSH keys here, and it should be the same public SSH key that you have. Like, you first have to generate it and then you have it in your .ssh folder under, usually it's this file. So you could just show the content of it and then copy it, and then from the my account SSH keys, add the SSH key there. I would not show it because there you would see my SSH keys. So when that's done, the next step is, as here described, basically you should create a folder. I already have such folder under sites. I already have a folder that is called the same, toolbar edit button. There we go. So I'm in this folder already. I changed to this folder as it said here, and then we're going to initialize a Git repository. So we're going to do git init, and it said that it initialized a empty Git repository. It's not empty, as you see, but yeah, there are no commits, so it's kind of empty. And we have to change to a particular branch, but let's go ahead and do that. So it switched to a new branch. It created a new branch, and we could create a README file, but I think we already have README file. Yes, we already have a README file, as you see. It has exactly the same text as suggested here. Then it says that we should add the README and commit it with initial commit, but I would rather say I can add basically everything. So git status, everything should be added. So let's say git add everything. So it's added, and then we could essentially create the same commit here, git commit and -m, and we could say initial commit. Initial, I like to use imperative here, at initial version of the module. There we go. Hit enter, and the commit is already added. The next thing that is suggested here is to add the remote. So we could add the remote with git remote add origin, and then the repository that is just generated by creating this project. Let's go ahead and do that, adding the remote, everything's fine. And then we just push to the remote the current branch. So we say git push origin, the remote that we just created, and the branch that we are currently on. Pushing, the authentication of host can't be established. Key fingerprint is lava lava, yes. And permanently added, and all went well. Warning, but it all went well. So if I say now git status, everything's fine. So if we now take a look at the page here, if we just refresh it, I'm pretty sure we would already see it slightly differently. Yes, it already looks very nice because we see that our branch that we uploaded is already populated with the code base that we just pushed. So we can even show it here. Yes. And there are further instructions of different tasks that we might perform. For example, when there are patches, and how to apply the patches, and how to create further releases, which is super handy. Very good work from Drupal.org. So essentially from here, we could go to creating a project release, and here are the instructions for enabling releases and creating official releases. And it has to be done on the official page. And then here there is a link called add new release. That is quite good. From here we just select the release tag or branch, and we could here add release notes. The release notes, there are modules that are generating the release notes, but here we could just say initial release of the module, short description. Yeah, we can still add initial release, and we can just say new features because it's all new features, and we can just save. Let's see what will happen. And yeah, we basically see the release notes, and that's the first dev release of our module. And if we go back to the module, it appears now here. And I think that if we want to download the module now with Composer require, it would actually download this version. And yeah, that's basically how we could add our initial version of our Drupal.org module. Of course, I have many things that I want to improve here. The description, there would be much nicer description with also an image of how it actually looks like, and further instructions of how to best configure it to use it the way it's supposed to. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you like this video, please check the links in the description, like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.